Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Rock Bottom Podcast on the Shuley Network. My first one on the Shuley Network. Yay. I got very funny comedians, good friends of mine, Ophira, Esienberg, and Mike Kaplan. How you doing, guys?
Hello, good.
Yeah,
Hello,
man.
good. Yeah, this is great. I really love the logo. I love the music. This is high tech. This is I don't feel underdressed, but I feel under. I guess I feel good. I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
You guys have both done this podcast before, but now I got producers and everything. Look at me. I'm a big shot now, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. Deserves.
You're so good that other people were like, we'd like to benefit from how good you are. Come here, and we'd like to take from you. You are so abundant.
That's right. I do remember there was a I think it was like in the New York Post or whatever, big show, like a showcase. This is not commenting on you because you are good and you deserve whatever this network is giving you, and I hope it is a lot. But there was a whole thing about, all these TikTok influencers. It was like, creative arts agency opens up a TikTok department. And I was like, oh yeah, that was a bunch of agents going like, wait a second. So those people, they just get all the money themselves? No.
Yeah.
We got to step in on this one immediately.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know about you guys, man. Like now that I'm in Cleveland mostly, but like so I'll hang out at Hilarities a lot. And I was just there a couple weeks ago at Metzger. Great dude. We all love Metzger. But like a lot of the headliners that come in there just like on off nights are just like these people I never heard of that are just like big on TikTok. And you're like, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I started doing comedy in about 2002. And so I'm officially a comedy adult this year, 21 years. I can finally comedy drink. And I stopped drinking a few years ago, so that's appropriate. But I remember like a couple years in, even just like a year in, and somebody new starts. And you're like, well, what? Like, that's not like, I feel like as a child, we're like, okay, we learn how many planets there are. We learn the history. And then you get to be an adult and they're like, just kidding. We didn't know what we were doing either. There's actually one fewer planet. And we told you only the history of white people and men and straight people. And we're like, oh, there's so much more to learn. But at first I was just like, new people? No, there's enough people. There's enough comedians. Like, there's already too many above me. I don't need people below me also rising past me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel like, even 2000, because I moved to New York in 2001 and, I couldn't figure out how to get on a show. And then people were like, here's how you get on a show. You go to the show, which is, by the way, still the way. I'm not going to say that isn't the way. There is a lot of like, well, people have to know you to like be able to even understand that, or like even an open mic, you still have to physically show up probably once before you sign up. And then they were like, or you could flyer. And I know some of this still exists, but not really. There was like no other avenues. I'm a little jealous.
I used to flyer. You never had to flyer back in the day?
I
yeah.
flyered. Oh my God, of course I flyered. I did everything.
Yeah, I was Jesse Joyce's roommate, and we used to
of course
remember
my God.
the Dervish in Times Square, and I used to go there with Jesse, and we'd have to hand out flyers. But Jesse was a cool guy. He would just stand there and smoke cigarettes. He wouldn't flyer. He was like, I'm not doing this. And he's like,
and where's he now? How did that work out for him?
He's killing it. Yeah, he's like one of the head writers on Kimmel. He's doing fantastic. But it was just hilarious.
But what open mics has he done lately?
Yeah. And that's when Somerville also used to flyer. That's when I met Mike Somerville, because we used to be out there in front of the Dervish. Dude, it's one of your rites of passage in New York City. It's kind of like, I mean, I remember like kind of enjoying doing it in a way. It was, the shows were awful at that place, but it was just part of what you did.
I was in Times Square yesterday. Weirdly, haven't been there in so long. I was like, wow. I literally had the moment of, this still exists in the city that I live in.
Yeah.
I don't think it when none of us are there, it doesn't. It's like it's like Toy Story, like but the opposite, like when you're not looking at your toys, they're all having their own lives, they're all having a good time, and then they stop doing stuff when you look at them. But Times Square's the opposite. Like when you're there, it's hustling and bustling, and you're like, wow, look at that and this. But then you leave, and it's like, shut it down, and it's a void.
Shut it down. Yeah. Which, by the way, would save a lot of energy. Okay, I would just like to say that would save a lot of energy. I always think anytime anyone tells me to like recycle a plastic bottle, I'm like, turn the lights off on Times Square for 1 hour.
yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Why is it on me?
Yeah. Why is the lights on at like 4 a.m? Like, because I've driven through in the middle of the night, like through Times Square, because I'd have to go over the 59th Street Bridge, and like it's still lit up. Like there's 10 million people out there, and it's like, no,
exactly.
It's still like lit up. Like
that's a great point, Ophira, that like I'm here and I'm like making these, I don't know, existential, philosophical, like solipsistic. I'm like, does anything really exist when we're not looking at it? And you're like, we could save a lot of money and power and resources by turning the lights off, literally, because that could actually happen in this reality that we share. And I'm like, ooh, that's interesting too.
1 hour. 1 hour.
Before we go on though, I do got to give a quick like I know you guys and
Please.
all your.
Oh yeah.
And all your
we just.
I know you too. Yeah. Who are we?
A million hours.
But we got I got there's like a whole bunch of people watching now, so now I could But yeah, Mike Kaplan, you've done Conan a bunch, Tonight Show. How many albums you got out now?
I released in 2020 my 5th album that is available for everyone everywhere. And I also just recorded last year an album that is only playing on Sirius satellite radio. So that's the 6th. And there's another, so, somewhere 7-ish albums, but you can only get 5 of them. So if you're a completist, I'm sorry, but yeah.
And
thanks
your
for having
podcast
me.
is Broccoli and Ice Cream is your podcast.
Broccoli and Ice Cream is one of my podcasts where I have guests and I talk to them about the work of their life and the joys of their life. And I would love to have you both on. Let's do it right now. And then I have one called The Faucet.
We're double.
Yeah. Yeah, like a crossover episode, like when Law and Order met up with SVU. Like, yeah, let's just record it. We'll put it on both of our channels. Like, let's just have all the podcasts be one podcast. Like, we are all one podcast.
Are we not?
It's very meta. Right. For those that Mike is very meta. He's very deep, very philosophical. Is that those
are 3 words? Absolutely. I appreciate it. That's what kind of comedy. I always
listened to some voicemails today, and I was like, "This podcast sucks." I was like, "Are voicemails just podcasts that are very personal and boring?"
Yeah. Do you guys know what's his name? Blake Wexler. Blake Wexler.
Yes, I know the name. Yep.
Very funny comedian. He put out, I think, I don't think I'm wrong, but I might be. But why would I think this if it wasn't true? I believe he put out an album a couple years ago that was all voice messages left him by Todd Glass, I think.
Oh, really? Wow.
Love it.
I wouldn't mind. Todd Glass is hilarious. I wouldn't mind hearing it.
Todd Glass is so funny. One of the best. But Ray, let's not get off the focus. Me and who I am, and also who's Ophira Esienberg.
That's what I gotta get to next. I gotta introduce her.
I'm about to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, Ophira Esienberg, host of The Moth on NPR. Oh, you been on Law and Order for real?
No, I like the idea of like we need a lot of people on this case. We need Law and Order.
Yeah.
You know what
but I gotta introduce. Let me do a proper introduction. Ophira Esienberg, the host of The Moth on NPR. An NPR. I heard you on the way. By the way, on Sirius XM. I heard you on the NPR station. The Moth.
Really?
Yeah. You've done a bunch of late night stuff. And what's your? You tell them about you. You're a very funny comedian.
So you have no idea.
I do know. I know you've been on Comedy Central.
Your eyes say that you don't know. I'll fill it in for you. Don't worry. I got it. Been on late night 3 times. 2 of them, although, were the Late Late Show. I keep returning to the Late Late Show. Will there be another Late Late Show? I don't know.
I've heard that they're replacing it with At Midnight.
No, you're joking.
Really?
Are you being
The
serious?
return of At Midnight?
The return of
Google
At
it
Midnight?
after. I wish I were. I mean, I don't know if I wish I were
That
joking.
is
I mean, I always like to be
fascinating.
joking, but I believe I read it in the news. Maybe the news was joking.
Well, that's a common idea these days.
Yes.
Yeah, and I hosted NPR's Ask Me Another for 9 years. I was a trivia show. I regularly do stuff with the Moth.
Ooh.
Thanks, Chip. You're the best. And what else? Oh, and I have a new podcast on iHeart Network called Parenting is a Joke. And I've got a book. And I've got 3 albums. And one is a comedy special called Plant-Based Jokes. Everything I title ends with jokes, just in case
I love it.
unsure.
No.
Oh, Ophira, can I tell you, I recorded a dry bar comedy special that has not come out yet. But
By the way, mine came out. It's number 1 on their top 10 for the third week in a row. It's
incredible.
out right now. No, it is cool, but at the same time, what stinks is as long as it's doing good on the website, they keep it on the website. And they wait till like it gets no more traction on the website before they make it public on YouTube. But if
that
you
really stinks, man.
Yeah, but if you go to
I'm
the
sorry,
drive-by
it's
right
number
now,
1.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it gets me any more money.
They're a comic. Finally, a comic speaks. But I don't know if any of this exposure, like, what's the cash value? Oh, they didn't tell you that it's just for laughs.
Yeah.
That was right in the Montreal Comedy Festival's mission statement right there, just for nothing else. But that's beautiful. What's it called, Ray? What's the title?
40 and Simple. 40 and Simple.
And so the reason I bring it up is
Isabel Hagen, our friend, is number 2. She's hilarious. Check
congrats,
out
she's wonderful. Of course. They asked me what I wanted to title it. So I came up with a bunch of ideas for the title of my special. And one of the titles that I came up with, because I live a plant-based lifestyle, I was like, how about something like plant-based comedy? And then as I didn't decide on that, I saw your thing came out, and I was like, good thing that I don't want to have competing. I mean, maybe everybody's special and comedy album should be called plant-based comedy from now on. One podcast, one title, plant-based comedy. But
just edited into different things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Just
and
don't
I
say
know.
jokes.
Are you not mad that I don't?
You could be plant-based jokes. You could be plant-based comedy. And then
there you go.
You're plant-based comedy. She's plant-based jokes.
And then somebody else could do plant-based humor, plant-based jocularity, plant-based hilarity. Man,
I want to see plant-based drama.
We've got so much. It's like we're the new original kings of comedy. Everyone became. The plant-based of it's sort of like the antidote to the blue collar comedy tour, the green collards comedy tour.
The green collars of comedy.
Real question. Does Larry the Cable Guy have to change his name? Like, do you think
there's
like
no more
people
cable
are like,
guys?
There's no more cable guys?
Oh my God, Larry the streaming guy,
Yeah.
Larry the Spotify guy, Larry the. Hey, Gina.
Right?
Yeah, it's Bob Levy's wife.
Gina.
Ophira, that is a funny question. Maybe that's why we haven't heard from him as much recently.
Well,
it only came up in my house because of Cars, the animated scene. And my kid was like, "Oh, Mater is really funny." And we were like, "Oh, that's voiced by a guy named Larry the Cable Guy." And my son said, What does that mean?
How old's your son now?
7.
Yeah.
That's what a fantastic. Oh man, it's so. I understand
Larry
why
the
people have
internet
kids
guy.
now.
He'd have to be the internet guy. You got to call
Yeah.
yourself Larry the internet guy.
The internet guy.
Larry the fix the router guy.
Yeah, Larry the webcast guy.
Yeah.
But one more thing on this, just because my brain is reeling with this. I also I think we can agree that in passwords, like all your passwords for everything, we're in the dark ages of passwords, right? It's ridiculous. Every convention is different. Some of them need a special character. Some of them don't. How are you supposed to remember that? If you even have a mask that you use for all of your passwords, you have to change it enough so then you have to have many masks. How do you keep that together? And then some people just grab an app or or part of a website that just takes care
It's
of.
all face. It's all face now. So
Yeah, so that's garbage. I mean, but the other ones for of your other stuff where it just creates some of them you can't do that. You can't even do the face stuff, right? For not every app, because that's still getting up there, and it's just dark ages. And I do miss just the simple. I know totally not secure anymore. The simple word passwords, because not for me, but I remember like my mother and a lot of people of a certain age, their passwords were a very reflective statement of who they like of their life or who they thought they were. And I remember I was fixing my mother's router because I was her IT person.
Who's your favorite sibling? Like that was your password,
right?
Like,
that was that, or like the dog. But
Yeah.
I said, "What's your router password?" And she goes, "It's the same as all my passwords." And I was like, "What is that?" And she said, "I am a winner." I loved that.
I also, that's amazing. I just had an idea that I think is pretty fun, that everyone's looking for strong passwords. So I say make your password weak and nobody will ever suspect it. And also, I've got a tip out there.
Plant-based passwords.
Yeah. This is not going to work for everyone, but if you want to hack into someone's phone and you are an identical twin, then you can use your face to get into your twin's phone. So it's very limited. It's a very small scope. It's not going to be like in the new heist movie, like in the new Ocean's 11. Ocean's 2 is what that's going to be.
Will it be in the? Did you ever read? You guys didn't read Sweet Valley High, but that was a.
I read the Babysitter's Club, and my girlfriend sometimes confuses the Babysitter's Club for Sweet Valley High, so I'm close.
Yeah. I read all the Judy Blume.
They didn't have that.
All the Judy Blume books I read.
They're good.
Right, Nothing. Super Fudge.
Oh, yeah.
Are you there, God?
Margaret.
Yeah. That was
I read some of them like instruction manuals. I didn't read them as like fun fiction.
You're like, how does my body work? School isn't teaching me.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. No one's given us any insight to this at all. Judy Blume.
You got some. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I grew up also reading like Beverly Cleary, and it was
Me too. I met Beverly Cleary, and I met. I won. No one. I don't know why. I don't know why my parents didn't celebrate this. I won the Author of the Year in 4th grade and 5th grade, and the one year it was Beverly Cleary. Like we met, and then the next year was John F. Fitzgerald from the Great Brain books.
Wow.
So
that guy was alive?
Wow.
Yeah, whoever wrote the Great Brain.
Because the Great Brain books, I read those, and they took place in like the 1890s. So
you being serious?
I'm 100% serious.
Well, then I don't know if maybe we didn't meet him, but whoever was in charge of the books.
His hologram.
I don't know, but I remember it was the Great. All right,
you're over 40.
Yeah.
I mean, but you could have met him. He could have been 80. He could have been like 80. Was he 80 or 90?
I was in 4th and 5th grade, and it wasn't a big deal because my parents didn't really like. They were more like, "Oh, we got to go to Columbus again." So, like they were more like annoyed that
I feel like this is
like leave Vermillion, Ohio.
This is your whole thing. You're like, every time you have a success, someone in your family is upset about it. You're like, I'm #1 on Dry Bar, and it really sucks that people can't see it on YouTube. My parents are like, our son is the greatest author in our class. We have to drive him to another town. Oh, boy.
Well, then now
Columbus, though.
Maybe I didn't meet him then. If you're saying he's dead, then I didn't meet him.
I don't know when he died. I'm just saying he would have been old.
I thought it was
none of your memories are real. Okay, none of them.
Yeah, I just remember my parents not thinking it was a big deal. That I look back and was like, that was kind of a big deal. But yeah, I won the Young Authors Contest 2 years in a row at Lake Elementary School in Vermillion, Ohio.
I got you here, John Dennis Fitzgerald. He was born in 1906, so I was a little off. His childhood was early 1900s. Died 1988, so you might have met him.
Yeah, because this would are you there, God? It's me there. Yeah. So then I might have seen him then.
Yeah.
Because that would have been like 87, 86. So
would have been like he's near like one of his last.
That's all he needed to do. He's like, I met Ray.
Yeah. But
Columbus, Ohio. That was what killed me.
Well, it was like all the elementary schools in Ohio, and like I just happened to win it from Vermillion. So I just remember like going to that. I do got stuff I want to talk about.
Please, let's get to it.
Oh wait, you have an agenda?
Yes, I have an agenda.
You on your show? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we can go off topic on different stuff, whatever.
No, I like topics.
But, first of all, Ophira, being a Canadian, I wore this for you, Montreal Expos hat.
I love it.
Where are you from?
Good logo. Canada? Calgary.
That's nowhere near Montreal. I don't know. I know Montreal.
It's nowhere near Montreal. But I lived in Montreal for 3 years. Yeah, because I went to McGill, and then I lived in Vancouver for a year and a half, and then I moved to Toronto. I lived in Toronto for a few years.
And when you
that's all of it, right? That's all the cities in Canada?
Yeah, there's like, only 20,000 more. But yeah, more or less.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then when did you become a citizen?
Year and a half ago.
Yeah, hey, congratulations. It took a while to get that test together, huh? To finally pass it.
I didn't want to do it. I have, you know what, for one, there wasn't really a ticking clock for me to have to do it. And I also, not like I make a lot of money still from Canada, but like little things. And America, maybe you know this, is one of only 2 countries in the world where once you become a citizen, if you make foreign funds, you have to pay taxes in both countries.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That explains.
Anyways, but under the world that we've been living in recently, I was like, I want to be a citizen of the same country as my child, even though my child is Canada and US, but we do live here. And also, I wanted the ability to exercise my right to vote and civic engagement. Which you cannot do.
Speaking of which, this is what I want to get to. Jimmy Carter.
Who'd I vote for? I'll tell you.
I wrote in Jimmy Carter for the last election.
Jimmy Carter. Yeah.
Jimmy Carter. He's in hospice. He entered. I didn't. Yeah. First of all, I didn't know. I didn't realize he was still alive.
He's 98.
He's 98. But also, like, when I was a kid, I don't know what it's like. But Mike, remember, like, we were kids growing up in the States, where like the real Americans. You just respected all the presidents, no matter who they were. Like, you just like I know Nixon was the only one that, because he got fired, so he was like the only one where there's like a little bit of shame. But like Jimmy Carter, Gerald Ford, Reagan, George Bush,
Washington.
Yeah, but I'm saying the ones that were alive. Maybe just the ones that were like in the Point Break movie. But like you just like Clinton. Even
Clinton
George
was, dethroned. I remember, of course, that was big news in Canada, but he was shamed.
But I'm just saying, like, you still had like respect, like, for the president. Like, there was just, even both the George Bushes, you just respect them because they were the president.
Well, it's interesting. I think that at a certain point, and it's different for everyone. Like, you had your own journey of eventual disenchantment, which I've been learning a lot about Buddhism recently from Instagram and bumper stickers, but the idea that we are, experiencing illusory, things, that like what we think of as real is not necessarily, permanently real. Like, nothing is permanently so. But that, so to become disenchanted with something is to have that illusion lifted, to like be more in touch with reality. So you were under the illusion as a child that all presidents were good. I was also. I had
you just assumed they were all.
And so, we were kind of told that, or at least, I raised, a straight white male American. We're like, yeah, of course. Like, I was raised with the illusion that the police are good and only do good things. Right. The police are heroes. The army is that these weren't institutions made of, humans that were also fallible and flawed, and that presidents were also, potentially could be sociopaths, could be, people, megalomaniacs or what have you. But so everyone, it wasn't that there was a particular moment in time in everybody's, like, it wasn't the same for everyone. You might have realized when you were, 17, 18, 20, 25, like some people maybe earlier, depending on the experiences they had. But yeah.
Well, as far as I know, he's a great American, Mike Kaplan. Let's give respect. He's got a few more days left. I don't know if you saw this. The Bidens, Joe, if you can pull up that picture, the Bidens visited Jimmy Carter.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Carter seemed cool. He's even in the
Joe,
the light of
Can you throw that
knowledge and reflection.
I don't remember anything about that guy other than the peanut thing.
Yeah, he was a peanut farmer. But yeah, look how. So this is the Bidens
Wow.
visiting the. Look how tiny they are.
They are so tiny. They're on tiny furniture, though.
But
Like,
look
it
how
looks.
it looks like
Oh
it's
my
like a
gosh.
ventriloquist. Joe Biden with
That's
Jimmy
so
Carter.
crazy. Are
Isn't
you
that
sure that's
insane?
not photoshopped in?
No,
That totally
that's like a
looks
real.
photoshopped in.
No, it's like it was trending like about how tiny they look, but they look so frail and little. The Carters.
Can I
compared to
tell you
them.
something about Jimmy Carter that I just
Yes.
learned from Wikipedia?
Yes.
On his domestic policy,
Wikipedia?
moralism.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. He said he declared that the current energy crisis was the moral equivalent of war. He encouraged energy conservation and installed solar water heating panels on the White House.
He's a good guy.
He wore sweaters to offset
fantastic.
turning down the heat in the White House. I mean, and that's the kind
Jimmy
of guy who
Carter.
was not rewarded with a second term.
Yeah,
I would love the president to tell me to put on a sweater. You look cold.
yeah. Why not get a turtleneck, America? Turtlenecks were the
Aw.
thing back then. And then
And
the,
I know. Well, we're just encouraging consumerism of something. That's great. That's like building into the American dream. Hey, you live in a climate, put on a sweater.
yeah. If it's don't put on the AC, take your shirt off.
And
Yes.
let's be honest, the sweater
God.
industry is slowly going to go out of business.
Oh yeah.
I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and it is 72 degrees here. And this is like one of
Exactly.
the coldest days of the year, February 23, and it is 72 degrees in Cleveland, Ohio right now. It is insane. Yeah, so yeah, props to Jimmy Carter. But this is what upsets me. If Joe, you can pull up this, is the first thing that came out when he's in hospice is they're talking about, I guess, when he met the Queen of England. And the big thing, they're still talking about this in Britain. It was on the front page of YouTube or Yahoo. Apparently, he kissed not the Queen, but this is where
Queen Mother.
the Queen Mother, and there's no proof of it, but apparently he like inappropriately kissed her because the kiss he gave her on the cheek was too close to the lips or something. And like that's the big story they got going on in England right now about Jimmy Carter, not respecting that he like was all about the energy crisis and global warming. No.
Well,
the
they
fact that-
invented the tabloid. I mean, Britain knows way more about trash news than we do.
But I think let's not bury the lead here. There is a new season of The Good Fight. It is a wonderful show. I don't know if you've seen it. It's one of my favorites, truly. There actually isn't a new season. All the seasons are out, and you can watch them on Paramount Plus.
What? I don't even know that show. What's that show all about?
The Good Fight stars Christine Baranski. It's like a legal political drama. It's super funny and smart. It's like the sequel show to The Good Wife, which came out starting around like 2009 as a, like, you know how like Law and Order does like ripped from the headlines? Like the whole show started kind of ripped from the headlines of Elliot Spitzer hiring a sex worker. And so on the show, Chris Noth, Mr. Big from...
How come everyone named Elliot sounds like they would hire a sex worker? Something about that name Elliot. It's just like...
Either hiring sex workers or meeting aliens, extraterrestrials from another country on another
Elliot
planet, of
from the
course.
movie
Yeah.
E.T. That was... When I think of Elliot, that should have been a more popular name, Elliot, after the movie E.T.
Well,
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It like really didn't take off.
so here's the hard-hitting
I have not
questions. Ophira,
seen that
why
yet.
didn't you name your
Yes.
child Elliot? Yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
Why?
I mean, you know, because well, the truth is behind the name of my son. But you know that you guys know because you know from talking to me, my husband is a Star Wars nut. Okay, so
A lot of people give me grief that I still have the action figures. Does he have Star Wars action figures still?
I'm sure there's somewhere. He squirrels things away because he knows I would toss. But we do have a little. It's actually very cool. It's like a wind-up thing of from Empire of Han Solo in the carbonite.
Yeah.
Actually, and you wind it up, and then slowly he breaks open.
Wow.
It's a good one.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But he was when we were talking about boys' names. He just kept coming to me, and he's coming in right now to deliver a coffee.
Ah,
You know these people.
beautiful.
Who do I know? Who do we see? Oh, Mike!
Hello.
Expos.
Hey,
that
with
there?
Ray DeVito.
Oh, my Lord.
How are
Nice
you,
to
buddy?
see you.
I can't hear any of you people.
Yeah.
Oh,
you look lovely.
right.
Nice to see your faces. Take it easy.
So there you go. Brief. Loves all comedians.
That guy
But
likes
he was
Star
just-
Wars? Okay.
I want. I
Well,
haven't
he was-
seen him. It's. I mean, I don't want to say his name on
Jonathan.
it. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Jonathan. Yeah.
So he was just coming up to me going, "How about Hitchcock for a name?" And I was like, "What are you talking? No." He's like, "How about Kurosawa?" I was like, "Kurosawa?" He's like, "How about Coppola?" And I was like, "What?" And then he claims he was just slowly throwing out directors' names to
Wow.
hope that he would lead me to Lucas.
Oh my god. And also he was throwing out like really, uncommon first names for a child. And he's like doing the equivalent of like when you go in for a job interview and they're like, "What kind of compensation would you like?" And you're like, "I think I'd like, I don't know, $1 million." And they're like, "Whoa, we can do $500,000." You're like, "Deal," you know? You want to overshoot and then be like, "Whoa, I guess wow, Lucas, at least other children won't emphasize the second syllable of Hitchcock, for our child growing up on the playground."
If I ran into two people on the streets of Park Slope and they were like, "This is little Kurosawa," I would.
You wouldn't be
it.
surprised. You'd be like,
Yeah.
Of course, yeah."
No, I also wouldn't.
But as a Canadian, what do you think of the royal family, Ophira? Here's the deal. I don't hate the royal family personally. I just hate that people give a shit about them. Like, I hate that like they're just supposed to be better than everybody. Like, you gotta like the fact that people like look like. If I saw Michael Jordan, that's royalty to me because he's like the greatest basketball player ever. But like they didn't do anything, the royal family.
I'll tell you. So yeah, it's obviously all over my money that I grew up with. And
That's another thing. Why the hell is Queen Elizabeth on the Canadian money?
Michael Jordan should be on the money.
No, someone Canadian. Like, you understand? That's like if I went to my ex-girlfriend's house from like 15 years ago and she has a picture of me on the wall. It's like
not exactly, but I like what you're doing.
It's like what the oh, thank you. We're getting a lot of thank you everyone doing super chats. Thank you so
very
much.
Very cool.
Man.
Ray,
oh, how awesome.
Can I tell you, I have a similar I don't feel as strongly about the royal family. I don't have really any feelings about the royal family very much, but let's say in the past, I would have been exactly where you are. I'm like, who are these people? What are they doing? But right now, you've given me some insight, and I feel like, I don't know if you're going to come away from this loving the royal family, but you're like, Michael Jordan, he's a guy who like dominated the world of basketball. So what did these English monarchs do? They dominated the world. So that's even more than basketball.
Yeah,
so, but I always thought
winning me over.
I'll tell you what I'll tell you what I thought was cool. Obviously, don't need to outline this. Maybe it's getting a little bit better, but most of the leaders of all the parties in Canada were men and continue to be men. A woman slides in there every once in a while, but I've never known a leader. For one brief second, actually, there was a vote of non-confidence in Parliament, and there was a female prime minister for like 6 weeks.
Congratulations.
There we
go.
So
that
happened.
And
then after 6 weeks, they're like, all right, we got to get her out of here. Come on.
But there is a thing in a parliamentary system where if there's a vote of non-confidence, that means like everything has to have a majority every time that they're deciding on things. And if the majority party is basically does not have enough votes to be able to move government forward, it's called a vote of non-confidence, and they basically have to call an election. And during that time, there's a lot of kerfuffle, and so the power starts getting transferred. And there's a bunch of things, or let's say the leader dies or is sick, and then the other person is not able to serve. There is still a chain of command where it will end up when nobody else could do it, the Queen.
Wow!
Really?
So the Queen actually does stuff. It's not. I assume she's just a figurehead.
The Queen is part of the law of succession. That's what you're saying.
It's like you got to go through a lot of people.
I don't. I just
still
do not like.
It's like the movie King Ralph.
The only thing that makes me kind of like the royal family a little bit is that I hate this Maggie Markle or whatever.
You didn't like her in Suits? What about in Suits?
I don't know her from any. I do not like the way. First of all, I didn't even know she was black or whatever, ethnic. Whatever she says that like. first of all, she says like they're racist against her or whatever. Like everyone's like it's racist. All this dumb shit about thinks the royal family is racist because like she's a white lady. I don't think the fact that they go out of their way to like try to like shame the royal family or whatever makes me root for the royal family. And like when the queen died and like the media wasn't nice to her, like, oh, they're just not nice to me because I'm ethnic, or it's like, no, you've been nothing but an asshole to them. They actually like the queen, like the British people like the queen and the hierarchy and all that, and all you're doing is shitting on it. So they don't like you because you're an asshole. It has nothing to do with your ethnicity or like, I don't know. That's the way I am.
Is it possible that the assholes were being assholes to her first?
I don't know. I don't know the degree of it, but also I don't know if you know, South Park just did an episode, which is great. Did you see the South Park episode? It is great. It's and here's why she has got no sense of humor whatsoever. Is they did an episode about Prince Harry and her about the We Want Our Privacy tour, where they just go around lighting off fireworks and, and go around with like signs. Yeah, do you have the pictures of the article that I sent you of like them? You can show pictures of it. Don't play the clips because I don't want this to get like plucked. But they're just like going around making a bunch of noise, like parading. Like, we want our privacy. How can we not respect our privacy? Like, obviously drawing attention, just making a mockery of the whole thing. And how does they respond? Instead of saying like, "Oh, that was funny, South Park," they're gonna try to sue South Park over this episode.
Sure. Ray,
they need the money.
Did you say?
Yeah, they need the money exactly. With the money with fucking Queen Elizabeth's picture on it, the person they hate so much. That's the money they want. Get out of here,
Ray. I have a question for you. I understand you're very passionate about this.
Joe, can you pull up the pictures of the South Park episode of them with their banners and stuff?
I mean, we all know they killed the queen.
I think it's in the second email that
the South Park people killed the queen. Okay. So Ray, my question to you is, you are upset that Meghan Markle is making a mockery of the royal family that you hate. So why aren't you on the side of the people making a mockery of those that you hate?
No, I don't like how she's like on this whole campaign. Like, we want our privacy. We want like how no one.
Is it possible that they do want their privacy?
Yeah, I mean,
get out of the news, get out of the media, quit going on Oprah, quit like.
I mean,
yeah, there you go.
You can't be like we just want to be normal people. Well, that's over. So accept your fate. I really do believe that.
Do you remember when there was a rumor about Morgan Freeman dating his granddaughter or like his step granddaughter? So So this is a thing that several years ago, I don't know how long ago, but it was like, it's not true. There's some weird thing. Like, I don't remember what the truth is, but I looked into it at one point and I'm like, it's not true.
That's the greatest statement ever.
Oh,
I remember the truth.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
So Morgan,
what was going on with Morgan Freeman? Can you pull that up, Joe? If you go on a Google thing, I'm curious to see what.
And so the thing is that Morgan Freeman didn't respond to these rumors for a long time, and because they weren't true, and he felt like to respond to them would have given like more fuel to the story. People are like, oh, now Morgan Freeman is denying this thing. That's what a person that didn't want you to know the truth would do, wouldn't it? So he tried to do nothing for a long, long time. And again, I don't know all of the truth because I don't know.
Because I didn't hear the story until you brought it up. So
but eventually he did. The story didn't go away. The rumors kept like circulating, and eventually he did make a statement that, if I remember correctly, the spirit of it was like, he's like, it's really weird that I have to do this, but I am not in a relationship, nor have I ever been in a relationship with my granddaughter, and I do truly hope that people will stop talking about the idea, this ridiculous thing. And then they're like, oh no, okay, here it comes. That's us on the screen.
The singularity.
But so I feel like a similar thing could be happening. Look, again, and I don't know. I don't follow the royal family news as much as.
But I'm saying, like, Meghan did not help herself by just laughing off the South Park thing. Like, oh, haha. The fact that they responded like, we're going to take legal action against South Park. That's what I'm saying. It does not help her cause. Oh, what was his step granddaughter?
Oh,
So that's
wow,
fine.
there it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Morgan Freeman
Alleged
had affair.
murderer.
I didn't hear about the alleged
Wow.
murderer part of it.
I know. I was going to say
I
that's
don't
like a
know.
whole other strong.
Look, and it's not
strong
even
statement.
saying alleged affair. It's saying had affair. All right.
And here's the thing also, when we're just looking at a headline, the people who write the headlines are not the people who write the story.
Right.
You know?
I know that. Yeah.
Like the actual facts in the article. Let's just read the whole article online. Let's have the podcast.
I've never done
that. Before she was murdered. Oh my goodness.
Oh, so the granddaughter ended up getting murdered. I didn't know. Yeah. I heard of none of this. That's how I'm just hanging on my Star Wars toys. I didn't hear I just watched South Park. That's what I do.
Wow. She told her boyfriend turned killer. So it's the killer who is making the claim that she told him this. So I feel like we still don't have any of the actual information.
Yeah, we're pretty okay with this.
But I still like Morgan Freeman. I've heard none of this. But I never heard of any of this. I'm looking at in the chat. People are saying they heard of it.
Oh yeah. Well, how do you feel about the prince? How do you feel about the prince? Maybe you don't like Meghan Markle, but how do you feel about the prince?
Well, the fact that he's like also taking the South Park thing serious does not like. It's like, come on, people, get over yourselves.
Ray, what if you were the subject of a South Park episode that
I love it. It would help my career. Are you kidding me? That'd be great.
Do you think this is helping Meghan Markle's career? What if you were already famous and successful in all the ways that you ever could dream, and then South Park dug up something about your childhood that hurt you?
I think
it was really funny.
It was really funny to everyone but you, and you didn't think it was funny.
I'm gonna say her saying she wants to going on this I want my privacy tour is something she kind of did. Like, you know,
I don't think she did. I think that's just South Park.
So you're siding on her. You're on her side. Anyway,
I'm not on. I'm just saying that
the royal family, and I don't like. I wouldn't know who she is if she didn't go around like yelling all this stuff. Like because of her announcing her, it's like she does her own PR. I wouldn't even know who she is. I don't know who the other prince is married to. Who's the other prince married to? She's not in the news. Not that I only know her
are
name.
you sure that do you get do you follow her on social media? Aren't you getting your information about her from South Park?
Yeah, I guess. But the fact that she wants
so you wouldn't know who she was if not for South Park.
No. I knew who she was before that, and I saw I remember when the Queen died, and she made it about her, about like how people are not nice to her because of the color of her skin or something. And it's like, stop it. First of all, she looks like a white lady to me. Not that it matters, but like, I don't think anyone looks at her. By the way, anyone.
Oh no, they do.
Anyone's going to be darker pigmentation than the royal family. Do you see how pasty they are? They are whiter than this sheet of paper right here. They need some melatonin in their but
nobody in that family, like no one was like, oh, Prince Diana might be Italian. Like there was no chatter about their backgrounds.
I don't know the backstory about it. Like, I don't know them unless they put themselves in the news, which is like, that's what upset me. The fact Jimmy Carter, who was a president, we got to respect that. And like the big thing in the news is he inappropriately kissed, not even the queen. And why was the queen's mom not the queen? You could tell me, why was she not the queen? Why did it have to go to Elizabeth? Shouldn't Elizabeth's mom have been the queen?
She was the queen mom and not the queen. That I think because it's the line. So it was that case, it was the king. So it was the queen mother's husband that her father, Queen Elizabeth's father, that was the king, and then she was the next in line. So it's a certain bloodline.
By the way,
that's how they.
This last 30 minutes is the most I ever thought of the royal family. It was just in the news. It all started with the Jimmy Carter thing, and then
don't just attack the woman. That's what I have to say to you. There's some princes involved in here that were born into that family, who maybe should have. So there's the outsider here who is the woman, she is the American, and you're right, she's not a pasty white person. But that
She
might
is half
not
black,
be the
half
right
white. Yeah.
target. Yeah, it might not be the right target.
I think she's an attractive lady. I'll give her that.
Okay, well, I'll let
I
her
don't know if
that you
that's
think
helping
she's
your
sexy.
case. Yeah.
I think she's an attractive lady.
I like to see her boobs,
Yeah.
but other than that, 'cause she's
No,
not
I
hook up.
think she's an attractive lady.
Ray, of all the people in the royal family, she's the one that's most like Michael Jordan. She is an accomplisher. She is doing things. She had a career that she gave up for love. Like, she did so many things. Like, I can't tell you who to love, but I think you should love her.
You know who I do love, which I want to get. We could.
Jimmy Carter.
You gotta respect that dude was a president. That's
Michael
pretty.
Jordan.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna. You guys see Madonna's gonna tour again. Did you guys see Madonna?
Yes, sure. Yep.
She's getting a lot of heat about these her TikTok. I never saw. Joe picked out a couple of her. By the way, I like Madonna. I wouldn't mind go seeing her on tour. She's an icon.
But it's amazing. I bet it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a certain level of it that you're just going to go like with any like aging pop or rock star. You're going to be like, oh, I wish I could hear that high note of that song that I remember when it came out, but it's going to be probably a different octave happening.
I will remember the love that you gave me. I suck at singing.
But let me just say one thing about Madonna. When this is always reminded to me, and I don't remember it because I didn't have this kind of critical eye, but when like Holiday, that was like Holiday. Yeah. So that was, I think, off of like either her first album or her most early. I don't think there was one before that. That people's response to that was, she can't sing.
Oh, she could sing. Madonna's great. When I think of icons,
people said she can't sing. And it was before autotune was like rampant. I don't even think it was a technology. So the idea that someone like and I think she, if I listen to that song, do I go, she can't sing? Maybe. But I do think she got better at singing.
She's got some great, I Will Remember is a great song. Also, like from her early days, a great song that she's great singing is remember from Vision Quest, Crazy for You, 'cause I'm crazy for you. Touch me once and it's true. I always was a giant Madonna fan. Some people are giving her backlash because of her TikTok. I say it's Madonna. Be Madonna. I get it. She's got a lot of plastic surgery. Who gives a shit? Can you show some of the concerning that people are acting like her TikTok? Like, I mean, it's Madonna. Be Madonna. I'm fine with this. I don't know about you guys.
I'm going to keep the audio off because I don't know if that's copyrighted. So.
Oh, yeah. Good point. I have very strong opinions on this. Mike, I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. I mean, I agree. Number one, let Madonna be Madonna. Yeah. Like, I think for anyone who doesn't like an entertainer or doesn't like an entertainer doing something, like there's people, I glanced over at the comments. There's been hundreds of comments. Thank you everyone for spending your time watching this, listening to this. Yep. One comment I'll just highlight for a moment. Somebody said, "Is this Chinese propaganda?" That is a fascinating comment to me. I don't think it is. Like, I'm not involved. I'm not aware. If the backers are the Chinese government, I'm sure you can't tell us. But Madonna, I mean, an icon, like one of the most, there's so many Madonna songs that I love. I have nary a negative thought about Madonna. Funny quick Madonna story. My girlfriend worked at a place selling fine jewelry in the fine jewelry department of a big department store. That Madonna was coming to the store like maybe 10 years ago to do, she had a skincare line, I think, coming out. And she was doing an event, and everybody's like, wow, Madonna's coming to the store. Madonna, who had a major hit in the 80s, 90s, thousands, and teens. The last 4 decades, only a few people have done that. Madonna, I believe U2, Michael Jackson, and Weird Al. Pretty impressive. Madonna, an icon, historical, an amazing, on the Mount Rushmore. And there was a young lady, a woman in her 20s, who at that store, when Madonna was coming, she was like, "Who's Madonna?" And people were like, "You haven't heard of Madonna?"
Wow.
And she's like, "Oh, no, it sounds familiar. I think I got it." And that was like such a funny thing about, so Madonna is different. There's some people who are like young who truly don't have the same experience of Madonna, and they just see the videos and the pictures and the things that she's putting out now. And so, of course, they have a different experience. They didn't grow up like you and I, Ray, respecting all presidents and Madonna. They are now judging based on the merits. And I truly think that, look, if you don't like something, then stop watching it. If you don't like something,
Totally.
stop listening to it. Like, don't go see Madonna on tour if you don't want to go see Madonna on tour. I do think the issue of the sexism and ageism that women face, especially in our society, can lead many women to get plastic surgery that other people might be like, why did you do that? But of course, everyone does things for reasons that we have no idea about. And but yeah, I'm for Madonna doing her thing. Ophira, back to you.
I agree with you in many ways.
Thank you.
Kaplan. Yeah, I mean, like I do. I have, in general, I'm like, do whatever you want. Like, to think that Madonna, like, this is the thing. Like, to believe that Madonna was anything else in her career than basically figuring out new ways to invent herself, new ways to continue being in the public for consumption of whatever her art was. Like, I mean, that, so this is consistent. She's still doing it. I love that.
I love it too.
The heavy duty plastic surgery, I have a problem with, because I think people go, it's individual choice, do whatever you want. But is it, or is it like the hard fucking ceiling of ageism? And I don't love that this iconic person also, you end up being in a position of power where you are influencing people's minds and people's actions, and still the message is you cannot look like you have aged. I mean, obviously, it's like now
really?
far over that's like now you look it. I mean, the version of herself, much like Cher, much like Joan Rivers. Like we are very used to seeing. I mean, I'm trying to think of the Australian actress who's brilliant right now, but obviously just tons of plastic surgery. Like, we're really used to seeing these rubbery, clearly no longer of the human faces. But it's just, I know that women in their 20s, a lot of them who can afford it, like, Botox is part of their self-care. And they're in their 20s.
Right.
That is what's happening. So this is just another, I see that, I just go, God, could someone just have an expression line? Please.
Yeah, I'm with you completely. I feel like, number one, it's such a weird thing because Madonna's famous for music mainly, and so music, you like just
fashion. I think big influencer of fashion.
And I of course, like, the system is the thing that is causing the suffering, and like Madonna is one symptom, one fragment of this massive thing, but a massive, for any single person, like, she might have great influence, she might have a larger impact than most people. Here's what I think. I think we should try to elevate Janine Garofalo back to the top because she's a person I feel like is aging honestly and gracefully.
She looks
and, like,
awesome, by the way.
Being herself. And it doesn't, I feel like, I don't know how much she cares about how she looks, but she's just like, this is who I am. And she's like always said her age and not hidden it.
Quick plug. If you're in New York City, March 7th, you could see her at the stand with me on Tuesday, March 7th.
Amazing.
Very
7
cool.
o'clock. Yeah.
I do think I'm right in saying this because I think it's publicized, and I think she even talked about it, that she did have some facial, maybe it was even plastic surgery that did not go to her liking. Yeah, in the past.
She's in great shape, by the way. Like, she's
So, I mean, like, she was also, obviously a huge part of the Hollywood world. So there is someone who went through it and maybe decided, but,
Okay, well then, Ophira, then it falls to you. You are the leader of this next generation.
Ophira is beautiful. Look at her. Ophira looks beautiful.
I didn't even put on any makeup for this, so there you go, guys.
But what I'm saying is, as you continue to grow in life and age, you can do whatever you want, and also you could be the leader of a new generation of no Botox, no no work.
But let me tell you, it's hard because I am vain, and I'm working with people on stage that are my age or younger, but there are people obviously my age and older, and I look at a lot of the people and I go, oh yeah, no, everyone is consciously looking young, which I'm not against, but I mean, there's part of me that's not against it. Part of me is so conflicted by it because I don't love that.
Well, just
obviously.
don't. I guess I mean, look at Mike. He's obviously not like. I mean, he's got his beard going. Stuff. I don't go out of my way to like. I mean,
we're men, Ray.
Yeah. You don't. We're not on the same standards. We're not on the same standards.
But I mean, that's up to the woman. Just don't like.
It's not up to the woman.
It's actually up to the men.
It's up to the society that the men have been in control of for
before
centuries.
She died, I saw Joan Rivers was at the Stonewall Inn and it was sold out. And I think it was Poppy Kramer is like, just show up, I'll get you in. So like I got to go see Joan Rivers.
Amazing.
And she owned her plastic. She was great, by the way. Sometimes you could tell she was old and like was a little off, but it's Joan Rivers. You just like went with it and you love. She was great, but she owns all that plastic surgery stuff. So I don't know if you do it and you own it. It's I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm not a woman, so I don't know. I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know. Sometimes I just go like, how on one hand are we doing like we're very conscious of no more body shaming. We're really conscious of like there's just so much progress we've made in thinking about.
All right, real quick though on the body shaming thing. Not that yes, you shouldn't go on and be like, hey, look at that fat. But in a weird way, it does like telling everyone that they're beautiful when they're like 300 pounds overweight. Like that's also not healthy because like there's no incentive for. I mean, you shouldn't sit there and be like, look, you
right. If you're eating unhealthy and you're a diabetic and you're obviously and you have to get knee surgery and all these
but also
issues with health.
Size and health don't correlate in the way that everybody thinks they do as well. There is like the healthy at every size or the healthy at any size movement has a lot of merit to it as well because people are different sizes.
You understand what I'm saying? Like
I do understand what you're saying.
You look amazing. You don't got like, it's like,
well,
you got. And by the way, saying like, just because a woman's over, I love Lizzo. I think Lizzo's great. Truth Hurts. I listen to Lizzo songs. I like Lizzo. And people are like, oh, she's like very overweight or whatever. Like, I just like her music. I'm not looking at her. You know what I mean?
I like she's lost a lot of weight recently.
Oh, really? She has? Well, she
also,
should lose some weight. Like, let's be honest, like for her health. Like
she should do whatever she wants to do.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying about the plastic surgery. They can do what they want. I don't care.
No, that's true.
This is too American for me.
It's
too American for
me. If I may, there's a comedian in Boston named Jim McHugh, who has started the Boston Comedy Festival. He has a really funny joke that I think sheds some light on the path forward here in a way that I don't know if he intended. But he has this joke, and I hope it's okay to cite a comedian's joke. Jim McHugh, super funny. Check him out. He's a nice man. He's a funny comedian. He has this joke. He's like, and I'm paraphrasing, but the idea is he's like, women sometimes will look at celebrities who are women and like a model and then feel these unrealistic beauty standards that they have to look up to. And so they put on makeup and they get these clothes and they have to spend all this money and maybe get plastic surgery. And it's like, but for men, like we look at Tom Cruise, we don't do that. We just tell you he's gay and move on, and I think it's a funny joke, but I also truly think like the idea that we want to do, like, shift the conversation, because the conversation, it shouldn't be just people should have plastic surgery or they shouldn't, people should look away or they shouldn't. It should be that the judgment that is going one way, the judgment that is going like where these standards don't exist for men. These standards only exist. I mean, and maybe in gay male communities, it actually does exist as well. Like, because anyone who is sort of like the victim of the male gaze, like men look at women in a certain like way that can be predatory or judgmental. Gay men may look at men in the same way. And that's why gay men have like a bigger gym culture than straight men do necessarily, right. To generalize. And so the idea, like I want everyone to feel comfortable in who they are, both physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And
exactly, that's what I said. That's where I'm on the same page with you. I get it. Ophira is a woman, so you might have.
But I don't think it's. I don't think it's individual choice. I think the thing to keep going, like they can do whatever they want to do. It's like, yeah, but it's not their exact choice. It's like a lot of contributing factors of like noise hitting at your entire life. That what you are is actually not good enough. That is influencing your choices.
It's what you're fed.
I think we're all aware. The only person I hate is Meghan Markle. That's what we can all agree.
Yeah, and you know why you hate her? Because how she looks. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's the only thing he likes about her.
Oh, that's sorry.
Yeah, it's the only thing I like about her.
Yeah.
No, so I don't. That's where. But yeah, Ophira, you're a woman, so you would know more about this than I do. I'm just saying, I don't like.
Well, jury's still out.
Like if let's say I wanted to get a tattoo on my face, and someone told me, you can't do that. Like, I'm gonna do it because I want to. Like, you get what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't.
Well, it's more insidious than that. It's not people. I mean, sometimes it is people directly saying like you're fat, you're ugly, you shouldn't look like that. But it's also from childhood. It's your parents, it's media, it's just the world that's swimming around everyone like that. You don't there's this old joke like you go to a fish, how's the water? And the fish is like, what's water? You don't know the things that are unconsciously seeping into you, the air and the culture that you're raised in. Like if you were born 500 years ago, like we would have a completely different set of assumptions, that isn't based on who you are as an individual, but based on what the culture and your family and everything around you is feeding you that you're not even aware is feeding you.
It's like when you go do stand-up in a different country. I'm saying not North America, and they pay you real money, and they've never heard of you before, and they're like, why? What do you guys get paid?
Yeah.
Like that. And we're like, oh no, we've been fed that we should just be so happy for the honor.
Yeah,
$25, one drink.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I have this huge scar on my stomach from surgery when I was in a car. I survived a car accident when I was a kid, and I remember the doctor. They were all like, "You're a medical miracle," blah blah blah. And I do remember the doctor saying to me, "But let me just warn you." When you're like 13, 15, you might be self-conscious about wearing a bikini on the beach. That's what they told me
13?
when I was they told me that as an 8-year-old who just survived a car accident.
That's a medical professional.
So that is already telling you, that's already going like, hey, as a girl, people are not going to want to see this flawed body of yours.
Wow. This is a true story that was, I remember this I don't know about you guys. I had horrible acne when I was a kid. And this was, I was on Accutane. I was on Retin-A. Did you ever Retin-A, like you put it on your face?
Oh my God, burns off your skin. Yeah.
But then, but it would like get on I played basketball and it would like get on my jersey and it would like bleach my jersey. So I was the only one that had like a different colored jersey. Kids like, dude, what's up? I was like, my mom doesn't know how to do laundry. It's never mind. I had like white marks going down my face. But I remember like in the doctor's office, like I took a pill for acne. That's how bad it was. But I remember being in the doctor's office and trying to make me feel better. My Dr. Eberline, I don't know if he's still around, but he's pointing out all these like little scars on his face. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's like, we all have acne. And like, that was supposed to cheer me up that like, this is going to scar me for that. Luckily I don't really have acne. I don't really have acne scars, but I just remember like thinking that even as a kid, like this isn't making me feel better that my face is going to look like the moon. Like if it's enough craters of the moon, like how's this?
You were self-conscious.
Yeah, it's like what the hell are you telling me this for? That you could have done without that.
Maybe if you did have the craters on your face, you'd be like, I am going to spend thousands of dollars on laser.
Well, I'm lucky.
Laser crater removal. Yeah,
I had horrible acne, and I really don't have acne scars. I mean, I might have a little bit, but like I really don't. I don't know why. Like I'm surprised I don't have them. So, I mean, that was
miracle drug Accutane. Remember when we used to care about the side effects of that? That ended.
Accutane. Yeah. Like, well, that's the joke that I say. And there's like Accutane, the side effects are like depression or suicide. It's like, I'm like, are you sure it's a medication? Because it could be these pep talks you're giving me.
I was
going to scar me for the next 50 years. That might increase the suicide level. Not really the medication.
I'm a little vain for sure. And I was like, oh, I never got braces. And I was like, oh, my friends are getting Invisalign. Maybe I should get Invisalign or look into it. And then my friend was like, oh, it's like $5,000. It's pretty expensive. And then I was like, and how long do you have to wear it? She goes, well, I had mine for, just over a year. But then after that, you wear a retainer at night for the rest of your life. And I was like, what? Oh, so it doesn't work? Is what you're saying?
Oh, I wouldn't mind. Like I wear orthotics in my shoes, like that I still have since I was a teenager, the exact same orthotic, and it helps. I mean, it helps because like I'm very flat foot.
I wear a night guard, a mouth guard, so that I don't grind my teeth.
Grind?
And it also helps me stop biting my fingernails in my sleep, which I used to do and still
I do
sometimes
that all
do.
the time. I have cuticle.
You would bite them in your sleep. You'd wake up. Oh,
I wouldn't wake up.
hard.
Yeah, I would wake up in the morning, and sometimes I would.
Right.
Yeah, but having the mouth guard helps on 2 levels.
Yeah, see, you guys wouldn't have that problem if you smoked.
Ha!
I'm just kidding. Just not
Do
promoting smoking.
you smoke cigarettes for real, Ophira? I don't know.
I did. I haven't in years
You
and
haven't?
years and years. But I loved smoking cigarettes. Loved.
I people that
It
like
was
it
very
obviously
bad for
like
me,
it. Yeah.
and I should have never done it. But there was so many aspects about it that I liked. I liked being able to step out. Even like I never smoked in the time of smoking really being indoors, but I liked having to step out. I liked having a reason to leave. I liked the solitude. I liked the other smokers.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
The,
But I would never return. And vaping, I find totally beyond me.
I will say this.
Kids
back
today.
to
Yeah.
the Madonna thing.
Kids
like,
today.
I don't know if you guys like. All right, like there's Prince, Michael Jackson, Madonna. I'd say like those were like the 3.
Yeah, sure.
But Madonna, last time she toured, she had to cancel. Like all her shows got canceled because she got injured. She's like trying to dance, and she can't dance like she used to. So they had to like cancel a lot of tours. Like you were saying, Ophira, she's a great singer. I don't need to have the background dancers dance. You just sing your songs. You don't have to
did
do all
Rihanna
these.
show us?
Oh yeah, I didn't see the Super Bowl halftime show because I was doing a podcast with Kevin Brennan, so I did not.
Oh yeah, the dancers were just phenomenal. But she's pregnant, so she she did a little.
So Madonna doesn't have to. I don't know if Joe, if you want to show the art, but she had to like cancel all. She tried touring a few years ago and had to cancel like most of her dates because she got injured trying to dance. So she doesn't have to dance. She can just sing.
Hey, she can dance if she wants to.
She can dance. She can leave her friends behind. But yeah, she had to like cancel. Like she was canceling like all her tours or her dates as the thing
that's
was going.
unfortunate.
So I'd say just sing. I saw. Now this is like I like Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons, and I think a lot of it is because my dad loved Frankie Valli, and Frankie Valli's great, by the way. But I saw him in concert a few times, and he literally is just an old man that just like kind of lip syncs his songs and lets the background singers do the high notes.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I don't give a shit. It's still Frankie Valli. So I don't mind if Madonna doesn't do all the dances.
Right. I mean, it's so funny that picture they showed. It's like you could throw an eye patch on another woman about her height and give her a wig and teach her the moves and throw on the music. That person could lip sync. Would you be like, that was not Madonna? I don't know.
No, I want Madonna singing. She can like shimmy if she wants. She can like, but she doesn't have to. Also, what's funny on that same note is you can get rid of that, Joe. I just wanted I don't know why I just wanted to prove that she canceled a bunch of dates. But I saw a New Edition at the Barclays Center, like pre-COVID. You remember New Edition? They're in my logo, by the way. That's how big of a deal New Edition.
Wow.
Well, you remember it was New Edition, and they were great. But then they broke up, and it was Bobby Brown
Old
had
Edition.
his own. Bobby Brown had his own solo career. Belle Biv DeVoe did their thing, Poison, and
New and improved edition. Yeah.
Yeah. So then they broke. Belle Biv DeVoe did their own solo stuff. Johnny Gill did his solo stuff. Ralph Tresvant did his. So they all did their solo stuff, and then they also would perform all the New Edition songs too. And it's hilarious because they're all in great shape except Bobby Brown. So like they're all like hardcore dancing, and then Bobby is literally just sitting there. He's literally like he can't move. He only danced for his song when he did like My Prerogative when he came out and danced to that and every little step. And it was a great concert, by the way. But it looked like Bobby and his 5 nephews. It looked like Uncle Bobby and his 5 nephews, which is hilarious. Just watch fat Bobby Brown just like sit there.
Oh
I didn't give a shit. It was still New Edition. I love New Edition. I felt like a little kid, you know?
And Ray, we love the new edition of this show that's here on
do.
this network, and that the producers are messaging us in the chat about that. We don't know if you're looking at. Have you seen it?
No. What?
There's a private chat
saying.
over on the right hand.
Oh, I didn't see the private chat. Oh,
They're saying,
oh,
great job. They're just, it's a lot of motivational
oh,
messages.
Everyone loves it.
Well done.
I didn't see that. All right, now I'm looking at the chat. All right, so we got to wrap up. We went over our time.
Do you guys have anything to plug?
Sure.
Yeah. Ladies first, Ophira.
Oh, how nice. Excellent. You know what? I'll take it. Why not? Society owes me something. You can watch my comedy special streaming on YouTube called Plant-Based Jokes, and tune in every week for a new episode of my podcast where I talk to other stand-up comics and creative people about what it's like what's going on with their career and what it's like to have kids thrown in the mix. And it's called Parenting is a Joke.
Nice, awesome. Thanks. What's your Twitter? And so people.
Oh yeah, follow me on the socials at Ophira E.
Mm-hmm.
Ophira E, because that
Nice.
there you can follow at Ophira, but it's a different Ophira. I'm just saying.
Whoa.
And
I know.
Mike, do your plugs, buddy.
Thank you. So I'm at Ophira, no E. I'm not, but I'm at Mike Kaplan, MyQKaplan is how I spell it, MikeKaplan.com. I have a newsletter I send out every week with jokes in it, and you can subscribe for even more than that at MikeKaplan.substack.com. My podcasts are Broccoli and Ice Cream and The Faucet, and I got a bunch of albums. Put my name in wherever you get your albums and content, and you'll find my most recent one's called AKA. And happy to be here. Thank you for having me, Ray.
Thanks for doing it, you guys. And you guys hit like, subscribe to the videos.
Woo!
There's my Twitter. There's my Instagram.
Beautiful.
Also on YouTube is the Rock Bottom Podcast, which this will be up on later. It's a different, I think it's Rock Bottom Pod on YouTube. All right, you guys are awesome. Thanks for joining me on my first one. Thank all you guys in the chat. Oh, I got to do my sponsors. SilkCityHotSauce.com, SilkCityHotSauce.com. Go there, put in G-Hole, save 15%. That used to be the name of my podcast. And then also Ex-Husband's Deodorant on Airy Jane, AERIEJANE.com. I use Victory Pose as my favorite deodorant. Get 15% and free shipping on your first order of goat milk soaps and deodorants. All right. I love all you guys. Thank you guys.
Love you. Thank you.